All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Secret Squirrel Games. I'm your host, Secret Squirrel, once again. We're going to knock out some daily and weekly challenges on Crossout. Let's get some of this done. Let's get to it, right? Went and saw Free Guy yesterday. Ryan Reynolds movie. It also had some other folks in there with Taika Waititi and Channing Tatum was in there. It was good. It was funny. It was pretty comical. I liked it. So I recommend seeing Free Guy. Today is Crossout, of course. It is noon Eastern time. Well, it's a little past noon. I'm a little late. It's like 15 minutes past noon or something like that. So I'm a little late today. Got some real world stuff having to deal with. In fact, let me go ahead and make sure I put my phone on vibrate because of that. Because I may very well have some texts coming in. May even have a phone call at some point. So just heads up on that. But we're going to go ahead and get to our daily and weekly challenges. Let's see about making some more stuff too. I did get that Pathfinder's container yesterday that I opened up, and it had a Lancelot in it. So which works out well. I mean, it's okay. It's worth money if I wanted to sell it, but more to the point, I have been making retchers and threshers, and it is a requirement right there for the retcher. So I might just go ahead and make these other items here and already have that piece done and make myself another retcher as well. Why not? I mean, what's the harm? What's the harm, right? Make some money. Make some money. So, let's see. To that end, we might want to switch to whatever. Dawn's Children? Is that who it is? No, it's Scavengers, right? Impulse. Scavengers. We can go make some of these right over here. How much are those going for, by the way? $5.25? Meh. Whatever. Yeah, let's go make some scavenger stuff. So in order to do that, we are going to need to... Here, let me go ahead and do that. Craft over here. We're going to need an ammo pack and a judge. Let's do this item. That solves the daily challenge issue. Do this item. Come on back in here. Do the judge item. Yeah, craft over here. We're now in scavengers. We're going to go ahead and knock out the ammo pack as well. Requirement from engineers. And it's going to require a couple of items. And then, boom, I'll make an ammo pack. Once those are made in 15 minutes, we can start with our first item, Prosecutor. We'll need to get a little bit of wires for that. So let's go ahead and we're going to need 2 of these impulses. The impulses are each going to require 200 wires. And then 300 more wires. So each total is going to require 500 wires. So we need to get 1,000 wires, basically. So let's see what wires are running for right now. Well, actually, before buying them, we might actually play some wires. We might do some wires. Or I could just get I'll just get 1,000 wires for now. It's fine. Yeah, we'll just buy them. We'll offer 99.50. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll just offer 99. Whatever. For 1,000 wires. Somebody will bite on that, I think. If they're offering 101s and stuff like that, I'm offering 99s. They'll bite on that. Well, we should get that. Not too long. That shouldn't be a problem. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get these 2 items made, like I said, and we're going to make the first Prosecutor here. We'll have that. We need... Nope, see, I'm getting a call right now. I'm gonna have to take this. Sorry, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. There's all kinds of stuff, hectic stuff going on. Anyway, alright, so the plan is, like I said, once these things are done in 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and make this prosecutor, which won't be a problem to make. Hopefully by then I'll have the wires as well. And then what are the other items I need for the impulse? A charge and a python. And okay, so for those we're gonna need, oh, see, off the wires. Done deal. Gonna need the horizon and the cobra, and then another cobra and a chill. So a breeze and a small wheel. So here's a regular small wheel. Boom. 2 radios and a breeze. Boom. Boom. And then the breeze. Boom. So that's the necessary for the engineer parts. For right? Yeah, the right. So then I'm going to need 2 cobras as well. And each cobra, well, I'm getting another. Wait again, sorry. going on, Welly? How's it going today? Sorry about that, man. I got some things going on IRL over here that are that I'm having to deal with. Trying to take care of a situation with my mother. She needs some care, and so apologize, man. Apologize, guys, for that. But you know, you got to take care of moms. So it is what it is. We got 6,800, 684, 4,000, 683. Might as well just do this way. And we'll buy, well, they're offering 684. This guy's offering 680. And what below that is 668. We're going to go ahead and offer 675. 668, 67. We'll make it 678. That's fine. And we're gonna offer up for, I don't know, let's say 20 of them. Yeah, that should get some purchase power there. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get some of this stuff started as soon as we can. Obviously, we are gonna look at 2 of these, like I said. So for this, though, we are gonna need Lupara each and 2 more radios. So 2 more radios, 2 more Luparas. Go ahead and get those things taken care of. Lupara times 2. And 2 more radios. Get that handled. And then that should get us to our first impulse. After that, we're going to have to do all the same things again to get another impulse so that we have the necessary requirements to start making up that retcher there. Now, in the meantime, we still don't have our seasonal weeklies updated. That happens tonight, which is technically tomorrow per, Welly time, or Greenwich Mean Time over there, England time. Now, we do have, of course, our seasonal dailies to do, the 5 missions of earning patches. Total of 20 patches for 2,500 experience points toward the seasonal leveling here. And once we do all of those today, that's going to put us right at 93rd level. So that's pretty good. Put us right at the next level. And that'll get us another 20 coins today. So that's good. We'll make up some of that money we just spent. In the meantime, shotgun is the weapon of the day for our low power score missions. And of course, we have our raids to do. We have our 200 fuel. And as a result, we are going to go ahead and get to these hard raids. Let me make sure I have the right vehicle in place for that. That's going to be this thing right here. And we're going to look at hard raids. See, I'm getting some of that scrap metal selling. I don't know how much of it sold, but we'll see. I mean, purchased, not sold. How much of it people offered up to meet our price requirements. All right, so we need more than 3 of either one. So we're just going to go with whatever is the best offer for us. Now, over here. Where is it? Over here. Yeah, what's going on, Welly? How's it going, man? We're going to need... no, I'm not doing Dawn's Children at Perimeter Breach. I'm not doing it. Nope, don't do Dawn's Children at hard raids. Now, over here, of course, we have Fire Starters and Founders Canyon with The War for Fire. And that's what we're going to go with. Or as Gore likes to call it, just WFF. And he does that because he doesn't have the balls to say it the right way. Boom, Gore, in your face. Is what a new picture. Gore, no, Gore. Gore, yeah. Every time I'm on his stream or whatever, he just says, or we have WFF over here, because he won't say it the way because every time he just says it straight up, I always say, no, that's not how you pronounce it. You pronounce it The war for fire. And that's the way it's always said on my stream. And he says, yeah, I don't do that. He was like, I can't do that. So he won't. I give him grief about it. He tried it once, he said, but I didn't see it. He said it didn't turn out right. I'm trying to make it the thing. If nothing else, that's kind of my like a little bit my catchphrase, I guess, in Crossout when that mission's available. So.
Look what that cat coughed up. I'll kill you all.
Ow! Right in my face. Get it. Man, it took forever for me to kill that guy. And of course, my stream disconnected and then reconnected because small streamer problems. Disconnecting my stream. Twitch hates me. Yeah, Twitch hates the small streamer. Cause the small streamer doesn't make Twitch money. So they hate me. Cause I don't do hot tub streams. Because I don't have a hot tub or even a inflatable children's pool. Do 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 do. Twitch hates me and disconnects my stream. I can't believe I missed everything with every one of those lobs.
I sent you backpacking.
I missed almost that entire wave. It was terrible. Every one of those grenades just went right past everybody. Truck's in motion. The truck is in motion.
No more running for that one.
Well, I'm not getting the top score on this one, that's for sure. I missed too much on this one. But it's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, I keep shooting right between everybody.
He looks like he popped into a hornet's nest.
Of course. Of course, he blows off one of my front wheels. Because why wouldn't he? Ah, crap. Ah, Jesus. Damn fuse from out of nowhere.
And another one.
Oh, man. Well, at least we made it through. We made it through. I may not have been top place. I was in third place, but whatever. It's fine. We made it through. We didn't have to use a repair kit. Oh, crap. We already got another one going.
Wow! Get at him!
There we go. We're already starting out better. Kind of. There we go.
Keep it up, lad.
I'll take that. I really need to get into the game. I need to get in a good mood. I got a lot of stuff in real life going on, and I kind of want to escape it by being here with you guys. Hopefully today will be a good day, and we'll have some fun, and it'll help lighten up my whole, I don't know, demeanor, whatever, my whole, just got a lot of heavy stuff going on lately. So I could use some real mood lightening. Use something to put me in a better mood. I'm hoping for the therapeutic effects of Twitch, of streaming and such to kick in. I'm hoping that the sense of community, hanging out with you guys, you know, is going to kick in and put me in a better state of mind. I am. It does. I mean, it does that. So I can't deny that. You know, it puts me in a good mood. My girlfriend even once wanted me to stream so that I can play a game, have some fun, lighten up. She knows the amount of stress that I'm under right now with this whole situation. There's a lot of changes going on in my life right now, and heavy decision making, heavy responsibilities, and stuff like that kicking in. And I'm hoping, like I said, that all things considered, I can just kind of come and hang out with you guys and have a good time. and that'll help. So I would definitely appreciate, you know, the company, the camaraderie, and maybe a little bit of chatting involvement on you guys' part. Something to let me know you're there, and you guys are happy to be here and happy to take part in all this stuff with me today. What's going on, Fuyem? How's it going, man? Squirrels wish they had my hands, man. I will say that much. I got big hands. They can hold so many nuts. I use mine for holding my nuts sometimes. Because, you know, you got to. Sometimes you got to. You know, I ain't ashamed to say it. Sometimes you got to. You gotta adjust. You gotta scratch. You gotta do whatever you gotta do. Man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Yeah. You gotta reposition. You gotta adjust them. It happens a lot.
He won't set foot here again.
I mean, guys just do that, like, matter-of-factly. Like, you don't even think anything of it. You just do it when it needs to be done. And it's funny when, like, women go like, what? What are you doing? You know, it's so inappropriate. It's like, no, I got to. I got to adjust, man. There's no getting around it. That's just nature. It's not a comment on you. You know, it's not a appropriate versus inappropriate thing. You would adjust your bra strap if it was pinching you or something like that, wouldn't you? So but anyway, how's it going with you today, Fuyem? How has the first half of your week been? Since we are at the midweek part, yeah, I'm not kicking all kinds of ass or anything on this one. I don't know. Why? Do you? Do you always tune into my dailies? I like to think it's to hang out with me, man. To hang out with me. Chat. See what's up. Stuff like that. You know. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Was it bad, or was it just like a bad cold type of, like a flu type of feel? I mean, you didn't have to be hospitalized or anything, did you? You had swine flu before? So here's my question, and you don't have to answer, but I'm just curious. Were you one of these vaccinated folks who caught COVID? Okay. Did it just happen to be that way? Are you anti-vax or just anti-this vax? See, that's kind of the way I am. I'm not anti-vax in general. I'm anti the flu vaccine, and I'm anti this vax currently, in its current state. Because I just think that they just did it too fast. They approved this in a rush, you know? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't have an issue. You know, people are allowed to their opinions. They're entitled to opinion. If they believe in the vaccine, that's fine. If they don't, that's fine too. You know, to each his own. I'm very much a believer in individual freedoms. You know? You have the freedom to decide. It is your body. Now, it does suck when your body, because you decided not to get sick and then get somebody else sick, you know, well, and that was their body that you affected. But then again, if they were vaccinated themselves, maybe they don't, if that's their feeling on the subject. Who knows? Oh, your folks got the vaccine and they still got it? See, things like that, you know. There are questions. There are just a lot of questions, and I don't have any issue, like I said, with somebody not feeling comfortable with the current state of things. I totally get it. I don't feel comfortable because I think it was politically motivated, politically charged, you know, how fast they approved the vaccine. I also think that the drug companies were playing games with this anyway, because, and I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not, for example, I think that they were playing politics with the fact that they only acknowledged that they had come up with some kind of a vaccine right after the election because they didn't want something to reflect positively on the then sitting president and improve his chances of re-election, because they didn't want him to be there, because he was very anti-big medicine, anti-pharma. Yeah, same here. I agree with that. I think there are a lot of things that I hate medications. I hate taking extra medications. Unfortunately, I happen to be in some situations where I have to take some medications, and I really wish I didn't. It makes me feel like an old man to have to get up in the morning and take several pills. I hate it. I'm not 85. You know, even when they give me meds, you know, for things, I'm not one of those people who abuse the meds. I'm one of those people who takes as little of them as possible, especially if they're like pain meds. I'll just be uncomfortable unless it's really, really painful. You know, so it's like I had one set of pills that had refills listed on the bottle, and I tried to get the refill the other day, and I don't know, I don't do that. And I tried to get the bottle, or I tried to get the refill the other day, and they were like, "Oh, this this prescription expired. And I'm like, but it's got several refills listed. And they go, yeah, but, you know, the refill had timed out or whatever. And so the doctor had to call me, and they said, you know, why didn't you get this filled before? I said, because I didn't use it. You know, I didn't use them up. I still had them in the bottle and they're like, you know, you weren't using these all the time? I said, why would I use these pills all the time? It was like a muscle relaxer, you know? And I'm like, I only wanted it when I needed it. I'm not going to use it all the time. But because I only used it when I needed it, it lasted a lot longer than it was intended to do, which made it where it expired before I ever got the first refill. And there were like 3 refills authorized on it, and I never even got the first refill because I wasn't using it that often. Not that I couldn't have benefited from, you know, a little bit of a muscle relaxer here and there, but I don't use them unless I absolutely have to. You know, I just don't believe in that stuff. I mean, it's nothing I couldn't handle, you know, for the most part, so I didn't need to do it. So, well, it's like when I had my wisdom teeth yanked in the military, they would give us 800 milligram Motrin pills, right? Well, those are great. Those are awesome. Those became my hangover medicine. I never used them for my wisdom teeth. I was like, it doesn't hurt that bad. I'll save these instead because they're great painkillers. You know, I'll save them and only use them, you know, when I need them for a hangover. That's what I did back then, when I was in my early 20s. What are you doing? And yeah, I've never been somebody to use. Well, first off, I've never been allowed to anyway. It's, you know, I'm not somebody who does illegal substances, you know, and not only, well, they didn't have all that stuff back then. These, like when people do Pedialyte and all that stuff or whatever, for hangovers, we didn't have all that stuff. First off, we didn't have that stuff on the ship, because I lived on a ship back then, in the Navy, and it was a long time ago. And we didn't have all these hangover cure this and hangover cure that. You just had to come up with a thing. So it was usually Gatorade, you know, hydrate yourself. Where's that guy going? He's running away. Running away, eh? You yellow bastard. Hey, get him. Whatever.
So, brothers, I think we did good.
Yeah, like I said, I was either in law enforcement or in the military. Well, it doesn't even matter. Even when I wasn't in law enforcement, it doesn't matter. I was in the military, at least in the reserve status, from the time I was 18 on. So I've never been allowed to use weed or anything like that. It's completely illegal in the military. And not only that, I would have lost my security clearance. So, and that was my job. So there was no way I was doing that. You know how that goes. I think you know how that goes. You know, I mean, you can understand. I don't want to, because I'm going to probably go back to work in a field where I'm still going to need a security clearance. So Yeah, I'm probably going to do that. So, not even going to try it. If that makes sense. Cobra Horizon. And I'm sure that makes sense. I feel like it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so it is what it is. You know, that's not going to be the solution I'm going to be able to take. Now, don't get me wrong. Medicinal is allowed in the state of Florida. However, usually for security clearances, I still think it's completely not allowed. I know in the military it's still not allowed. I would be going back to work as a civilian, working for the military, and I'm not going to take that chance, you know? So, so I've used up the 180 for the 3 hard raids. We're sitting pretty good. Electronics, copper, etc. We're about halfway for each one of those right now, which is not bad. Do have an easy raid still to do. We can knock out an easy raid. Oh, we'll see. And we have another option. Nomad's Founders Canyon, again with the War for Fire. So we'll do it again. Same type of mission. Same map, I think, yeah. Same map, just easy instead of hard. And I don't even remember what enemy we were... Oh, we were facing fire starters before, and now we're facing nomads. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Bunch of them around here. He looks like he popped into a hornet's nest. Mark this one, all right? Yeah, good one.
So yeah, kind of in that boat still, where I'm going to have those kind of restrictions. I'm going to probably go back to working in windowless buildings. It's funny, when you look at job descriptions, it's just so funny. The Air Force, the Navy doesn't give a crap. They just, you know, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, they're just like, it's a job. Do your job. You know, whatever. They don't get into all this other feel good stuff. But the Air Force is so funny. They're all like their job postings specify for these kind of, you know, security positions and stuff like that. Oh, this work is done in a windowless building under fluorescent lights with recycled air conditioning and all this stuff or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's a secure facility. That's the way you have to work, you know? But the Air Force feel like a need to have to tell people, like they might go, oh, what? I can't, my allergies, or it doesn't make me feel good, or whatever. Okay, well, it sucks, but deal with it. You know, that's the way the other branches are. The other branches, they don't bother telling you that or giving a crap. They're just like, so what? Why does that matter? Do your job. The Air Force is all about caring about your emotional and physical well-being. I'm not used to that, man. So it was funny because I was looking at a position with the Air Force doing that. Which I'm not even sure if I would fit in an Air Force environment, to tell you the truth. I'm sure they're too woke and politically correct for me. They probably are like, even if I got a job with them, they'd probably be like, oh, you know, half the things you say in the workplace, you're not allowed to say those things. And I'll be like, go fuck yourself, whatever, you know. Or I'll be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Because I'm used to talking like a sailor, you know. It'll be funny just to find out if they even think that I'm their type of person. I have a feeling, like I said, that I know the answer to that, and it's... What's up, Cuddy? How's it going, man? Yeah. Ah! I'm stuck on this damn, some kind of invisible corner on that truck. Oh yeah. Hey, you spent a long time in the Navy, man. It's a real thing. Well, I mean, any branch for the most part, but definitely talking like a sailor is a real thing. I trust me, you don't know how much self-restraint I use on this channel, trying to keep it. Usually, I mean, I don't necessarily keep it, you know, rated G or anything over here, but I restrict it just because I don't want to just be F this, F that, F this, F that all the time over here. You know, I want to make it at least relatively safe for younger crowd to be able to hang out, you know, and come visit my channel as well. But believe me, it takes a lot of restraint.
Let's see him try this barefoot.
Great Lakes? I never went to Great Lakes. When I joined, they had 3 boot camps: San Diego, Orlando, and Great Lakes. Now everybody's Great Lakes. And I went to Orlando. I'm not, man. I don't use rockets, brother. I'm using retchers. Retchers. What's up, Sago? How's it going today? How you doing? How's your midweek? How's your hump day going? Just finished up my raids. I'm gonna go knock this out real quick. I know it doesn't make for exciting viewing, you know, this replay the mission thing in the awakening mode, but I just want to knock it out real quick. So just actually, before I even do that, let me make sure I have the right co-driver. Yeah, I don't care. Let me... Okay, I'm good. I can level that person up. That's fine. I just want to knock it out anyway. Going alright. Today has been okay. I'm not gonna lie, and this isn't gonna mean much to some of you folks. I get it. Cuddy, I'm sure this probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you. I don't even know if you follow this. I could be just assuming incorrectly. I don't know if you're up on the news or if you have any kind of direct connection with this kind of thing from anybody that you know or anything like that. But I served in Afghanistan, and this was a bad weekend. This is a bad weekend for all of us who served in Afghanistan. It makes... If anybody's been paying attention, the nation of Afghanistan fell to the Taliban. this weekend, and we pulled out, and it very much resembled Vietnam, and that makes that look like a war that we lost, and we spent 20 years in it, and that hurts. That hurts my soul. Not just for America, which, yes, it looks bad for America, and it feels bad for us. And all of us who served, we did so honorably, and we did so capably, and we did our jobs. So it's not on us. And no, it's not an intel failure. Trust me, I can tell you, it's not an intel failure that this happened. Intel warned that this would happen. It's an administrative failure. This administration, and you could say Trump administration made this agreement. That's true. However, there were opportunities to pull out of the agreement because it wasn't being adhered to by the other side. So we could have easily said they've already broken the agreement and not done this. For those folks who sit there and say, "Oh, well, we shouldn't have stayed. We shouldn't have been there this long anyway." Yeah, okay, that's one way to look at it. We could have easily left after 5 years in the country and left it in the hands of the Afghan government. The Taliban was weak then and everything. Had been weakened significantly then. They weren't near as strong as they've become in more recent years. So yeah, we could have, and that would have been fine. At this point, though, people sit there and go, "Well, we can't stay there forever." Really? I don't know. We stayed in West Germany for a long time because it was in our national security interest to keep that country from falling should the Soviet Union come rolling across the Fulda Gap and everything and start World War III. We still have bases in South Korea because we want to protect that nation against North Korea, because while they are a much more capable nation and military than Afghanistan is, we know that they can't support themselves against North Korea should we pull out. So why wouldn't we stay there? We definitely could. Now, I'm not saying we need to stay there with multiple thousands of people, but 2,500, 3,000 guys or something like that at a decently sizable base so that we could provide at least some kind of support elements to the Afghan army, then they wouldn't have crumbled. The thing is, once we pulled out, they didn't have a chance. Now, it's not that they didn't want to fight, and that's another thing. President Biden says, "Oh, well, the Afghans weren't willing to fight for themselves." That's not true at all. They had no support. The soldiers were fighting and dying regularly. Believe me, they took heavy losses fighting the Taliban. And they don't want to go back to Taliban rule. They had incentive to not. They were dying. They were fighting. They were dying. Yeah. So don't say that they weren't willing to fight. They fought a lot. Their corrupt government, their corrupt administration, who we kept throwing money at, which just caused them to continue to be corrupt because it was profitable for them. Because the thing is, America's solution to everything is throw money at it, and that's great to a degree. It's great that we have expenses, or money to throw at places. But the problem with it is that you do that and it tempts these places to want more money and constantly, try to get more. They're like, "Oh, well, this is let's put it this way. A lot of these countries view America as a blank check. That's all we are, because that's our solution to everything, and they know it. They know if there's a problem, if we run out of money, America will just send more money. So we're just going to say, we don't have the money for this, we don't have the money for that, because they're siphoning off money all the time. These corrupt governments and corrupt government officials are siphoning off money all the time. And when that happens, we've spent $1 trillion, and what do we have to show for it now, 20 years later? Because we pulled out and didn't support them any further, and without our support, they weren't going to survive. So it's just sad. It's a sad weekend. I feel very bad for the Afghan people. I feel very bad for them. I know a lot of attention has gone to the feeling bad for the Afghan girls and women and their opportunities that are lost. And yeah, that's true too. But I just feel bad in general for all of them. And not only that, you know what else is bad? Like one of the former generals was talking about, the Taliban are going to become they're going to get more powerful because all the Islamists and everything are going to flock to them because they're the Islamic nation that beat America. Because Vietnam, our Vietnam obviously was bad. The actual Vietnam was bad, but it wasn't an Islamic nation. So I partly agree with you on that, Fuyam, and what'd you say, Sego? The reality is we always knew getting out would be a problem. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone fails in Afghanistan. Absolutely. Everyone does fail in Afghanistan. And you know what? China's next to do that. They're the next power who hasn't gone in there, to do it. All Afghanistan knows is war. And it's always from, if it's not internal, then foreign powers come in there. It's the graveyard of empires, as they call it. Absolutely. Agreed. 100%. And that's the argument where we say, well, we shouldn't have even been involved after the first couple of years. We should have just backed out. Go in there, kick them hard, and then hand it over to the Afghan government then, way back in the beginning. And yeah, you could have done that. Definitely could have done that. I wouldn't say the people don't, and the soldiers don't lack the will. They don't lack the will. They just can't do it without some support. And we can say, oh, well, they have an air force and the Taliban didn't have an air force. They barely had an air force. All right? So Biden can sit up there and say, well, they have 300,000 strong. No, that's on paper. They didn't have 300,000, trust me. They may have outnumbered the Taliban, but they didn't have 4-1 outnumbered, because Taliban had like about 75,000. And they didn't outnumber the Taliban 4-1. That is for certain. And even if they did outnumber, they didn't have any support. They were not getting food. Many of them were working months and months and months without pay. That kind of ruins your will to want to continue to do the job. That's why a lot of them backed off. They were just like, screw it. This isn't worth it. Why do this? I'm not getting my own government doesn't support me. They were sending like a box of slimy potatoes and saying, well, that's the rations for this police station. It's like, what? It's not, it wasn't good. And there were a lot of unrealistic expectations. You can't expect, no matter how well you equip them, you can't expect a nation that has that education level and that kind of culture to immediately absorb and what we're giving them and be able to do it functionally. Our recruits who go straight into our military are all like computer literate nowadays. Every kid knows how to use a phone, smartphone, computers, all this stuff. They already have all that stuff. I'm not saying they're all super smart, and believe me, I don't have a lot of faith in our public education system, so I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, they're all well educated. No, not really. But by our standards, they're not well educated. You look at third world nations, and our standards are well above a lot of that, And it's not just at the education, but it's also just the familiarity, the exposure to things. Our kids have exposure to higher tech. Even if they're not super educated themselves, they have access to computers and things like that all the time around them. And because of it, they grasp the concepts of a lot of the way these things work. Afghans don't have that. They don't have that kind of exposure to these things. So when our military, which is a pretty high-tech military, even though we didn't give them a ton of high-tech stuff necessarily, we expect them to perform at the standards that we train them to do. But our training is based on, a lot of it's based on the access to things that we have supporting us. Not saying that we're telling them use this computer to do this and do that if they don't have that computer, but we're used to having other support structures. We have aircraft, we have electronic systems and all this kind of stuff that supports our functionality that they don't have. So when we pull out our jamming equipment and our rhinos and things like that, different equipment that we have that are anti-IED equipment, for example, we leave them in a lurch because they don't have that gear. So their guys are just getting blown up, wholesale numbers. They're just blowing up like crazy, and getting killed left and right in ambushes and stuff because they don't have the capabilities of detecting or deterring or, eliminating those kind of ambushes that we have, whether it be an IED or a straight firefight ambush. So it's hard for us, it's wrong for us to expect them to continue with the capabilities that we even train them to do if they don't have the systems and support structures to enable those capabilities, to enable that kind of performance. And it's not, like I said, it's not for a lack of will to fight, because they fought and then they would run out of ammo and they would ask for help and they got no help. They were asking for reinforcements. They got asked for air power and the aircraft wouldn't come. And the reinforcements wouldn't come. And these are guys who already hadn't been paid for months, or they were malnutrition because they weren't getting squat for resources for any kind of rations or anything like that, because their generals were living high on the hog, and they were the individual soldiers, even their special ops guys, were not getting anything. That's not good. That's not good. It puts a bad situation in place, and it's just unfortunate. It's highly unfortunate that it turned out this way, and it's sad. When you look at, it's sad for America. It's sad. Not only that, it's sad for America. Let's put it that way. Not only because it makes us look bad that we weren't able to succeed, but let's put it this way. What about the next situation that comes up? Whatever it is, where we end up going into some country and trying to support that country and bolster that country up in order to make it some kind of a anti-terrorism, not make it a haven for terrorism or anything like that. And we say, oh, we're going to support you. And they go, oh, like you did in Afghanistan? It looks like we abandoned our allies. That lends strength to the narrative of that China, specifically China, but Russia too, have about America, which is the West is failing. The West is in a decline. That's China's big narrative about America, is that we're in decline. I don't think it was a pointless effort. I don't think it was a pointless. I mean, it depends on what you look at it. It may have been a. I agree that we stayed too long. A long time too long. See, I'm a big believer that part of the problem that we have is that I wouldn't even go that long, 5 years, whatever. And the reason I say that is because I'm a big believer that politicians who do things for political reasons use their tools the wrong way. They're using the wrong tool for the job. I'm a big believer that we could have gone in there after just a couple of years, after 3 years probably, we could have pulled the majority of our soldiers out. We got to switch to an advisory role and let NATO kind of rotate in units. And because some of those nations, like Canada, for example, Canada has the luxury of being the only military in the world whose primary role is peacekeeping. They have that luxury because they don't need a defense force, because they have the world's best defense force. They have America, right next to them. So, I mean, their only land borders are with us. So, well, yeah, absolutely, it would have helped if we had gotten him quicker. And that was a mistake in trusting the warlords who were on the take and let him escape out of Tora Bora, and we let them, because we didn't believe or whatever. Anyway, so Canada, for example, has this role of peacekeeper. That would be great. That's great because their military is trained for that a lot more than our military is trained for that. And rightfully so, so they should be performing that role. We shouldn't be, our military, and I'm not saying that all of the weight should be on them, but I'm saying that between them and like military police units of ours and things like that, and then some special ops going after specifically hardened, cells of insurgents, still, we could have gone a lot further down, in our level of involvement in Afghanistan, and we could have just bolstered them through other programs, training programs and stuff like that, and left it at that, and not had to have been so involved as an occupation force who's trying to nation build. And that's a part of the problem, and we have the same problem in Iraq. They're using the tools the wrong way. The U.S. military is a tremendous tool for certain purposes. Nation building is not what it's really designed for. And that's also part of the problem, is that the politicians demand that the generals, the leadership of the U.S. military, have to be politicians as well. Have to be, or I shouldn't say politicians, have to be statesmen, have to be, governors as well. And that's not what they do. That's not what they are. They're trained to be military leaders, and yet we put them in these positions where you're in charge of so much in this country, in this other country. Now make it work. And it's like, put me on the battlefield with enemy opponents. Don't make me govern this nation. We're putting the wrong people and the wrong tools in place to do things. We're asking 18-year-old, 19-year-old infantry soldiers, one day your rules of engagement are this, when we attack the enemy, and the next day your rules of engagement are completely different. Now you got to play peacekeeper. You have to play military police and all this stuff. And they're like, I'm not a military policeman, I'm an infantryman, or I'm an artilleryman, or something like that. Doesn't matter. You are now. Try to be something like that, and it's terrible. We keep screwing this up. There was a show on Discovery way back, several people, who might be watching or probably not even alive when it was on. It was called Special Forces, and all it would be is like a half-hour episode on each of the world's special forces. Each half hour was a different special forces unit. They did the Fallschirmjäger. They did they did all kinds of different stuff. They did, Mossad. They did, the SEALs and the Green Berets and the Rangers and the Spetsnaz and all those kinds, all kinds of different groups. And the episode on the Navy SEALs, they did. There was a SEAL commander who said the primary role of the U.S. military is to export violence. Export violence. That's it. And that's exactly right. That is the role of the U.S. military. Export violence. We are not nation. We should not be nation building. We should not be a tool that is used for nation building. We have the State Department. We have other assets available to us. We have partner nations who are more geared and trained for that kind of thing. Let them do that. Let them do that stuff. We'll come in, we'll clean house, and then we'll hand it off to somebody else and let them, manage it. And it might be better if we did it that way. But for some reason, we try to be all things to all people, and it just doesn't work. Yeah, I believe so. In Burma, and in Belize, former British colony. Yeah, it's just. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time since I've looked up that kind of stuff. Whatever. But yeah, it like I said, it's just a sad weekend for that. Oh man, more scrap. Damn it. So much scrap. 670, 68. Nope, 670 is better. 664, 671. We'll go 668. Yeah, like I said, and it's just sad, there are a lot of folks who gave a lot for that mission. I mean, there's time, effort, money. Sure, we can talk about America invested 20 years. We can talk about America invested $1 trillion. But there were a lot of people, individual people, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, civilian contractors, civilian employees of the U.S. government, and all these NATO nations, and NGOs, non-governmental organizations. There were a lot of those that were involved in Afghanistan. Not government at all. There were civilians, just pure civilians. There were a lot of people who gave a lot. There were a lot of people who died. They paid the ultimate price. There were a lot of people who lost arms, legs, eyes, traumatic brain injuries, all kinds of stuff. And it just feels like it turned out to be all for nothing because of the way we exited 20 years later. And that's sad. And it's not just for us. I'm not even just talking about America and NATO for that matter. There were a lot of Afghans who fought, who supported us. There were interpreters, there were all kinds of stuff. There were a lot of Afghans involved who supported us or just served their country and believed in it and wanted that kind of freedom. But Now, I will say one of the key problems that always exists, and it did the same thing with Iraq, is a lot of these countries have less of a nationalistic mentality than, like, for example, we have, or other countries in the West might have, than they do a tribal mentality. They are less inclined to give their all for the nation of Afghanistan if the nation of Afghanistan really hasn't meant anything to them. But their tribe, they'll do things for. Their group of people, their village, their tribe, whatever, that's one thing. Even they're a little bit of a region or whatever, that's one thing. But the nation, they don't feel as much national pride in general. We try to teach them that concept, but a lot of these places really don't think of themselves that way. They don't think of themselves necessarily as Afghans first. They think of themselves as whatever tribe first and then Afghans. Or the same thing was happening in Iraq. They didn't think of themselves as Iraqi first. They thought of themselves as something else first. And it was the same thing, in some of the African nations that we worked with. Also, the people think of their tighter community that they actually deal with on a more regular basis before they think of themselves in some kind of a nationalistic manner. And so it's definitely different. It's a different concept than what we're used to, It takes some getting used to. What am I looking at? All right, I need one more for this patch, and then 6 more after that. So I need 7 more patches there. I'm done with my hard raids, daily raid, and my easy raid for progress toward those weekly missions. I have daily challenge completion weekly missions here still to make progress toward by finishing up more daily challenges here. I've done the replay of the side quests, or the mission, the storyline quest in the Awakening mode. I only have these things here to do first. So, and I think I said shotguns, right? Shotguns, yes. Shotguns is the weapon of the day, weapon du jour. So shotgun it is. We put that in place, come in here and knock these things out real quick. But yeah, it's like I said, it just feels like we lost a lot of good people. Money and resources, whatever, but we lost a lot of good people, and we let down a lot of good people. For nothing. But I certainly would dispute the argument that the president made about, why should we be fighting a war they're not willing to fight? They were willing to fight it. I inherited a deal that was made by the previous president, and so I had to stick to that. No, you didn't, because the other side has already violated the stipulations of that agreement. You could have easily said, you guys have violated this, we don't have to stick to this deal. And then he says anyway, and I wasn't going to pass this on to a 5th president, to have to preside over war in Afghanistan. Well, that showed it's not... if you weren't going to pass it on anyway, then whether or not there was a deal in place, you intended to have a deal, in place. So don't blame the previous president, because you were going to try to get us out of there anyway. And then to sit there and say, we shouldn't have been there this long anyway. Well, that's fine, but let's have a reminder that you spent 8 years as the vice president, and you guys didn't do anything to get us out of there then. So it's not like this is your first exposure to the problem. Don't act like, I only just now got to deal with this problem. Bull. The problem's been there, and so were you for 8 years before. The previous administration that you were a part of could have had a major role in getting us out of there, and they didn't. So don't act like all of a sudden it's your super priority. The thing is, and I'm not talking about Democrats versus Republicans. I'm not saying that at all. I don't care who it is who's in office. Don't blame the previous administration or something like that. Bottom line is, it was your decision. You did this, and you specified. You said the buck stops here. I'm the one that decided. Okay, well then it's on you. And don't say it was bad intel either, because it wasn't. Because intel has been briefing for quite some time about the likelihood of a collapse of the Afghan government after we pull out. And if we did a full total withdrawal, the likelihood was near certain that the Afghan government was going to collapse. Now, you can debate about how long the Afghan government was expected to last before they collapsed to the Taliban. Some assessments said as much as 2 years or whatever. But the point is, it was inevitable that they were going to collapse. Sure, you can say this happened faster. It doesn't matter. It was going to happen, and everybody knew it was going to happen. I mean, the numbers as far as whether it happened in 1 day, a week, a month, or a year, or 2 years, that's just academic. Who cares? The point is, you knew that we were supporting up a government that was not going to last. So why did we stay this long, if that was the argument? How many other lives were wasted staying that long? Now, did it make a difference at all? It did to some Afghans' lives. Hell yeah, it did. They were... So the base that I was on... it was technically, the base itself was run by the French. And they had a hospital on the base, a full-on hospital. Not a military hospital, a hospital. And they treated Afghans in this hospital. And I was part of a program, we called it Operation Outreach, where we would go over, we would take care packages from like Facebook groups and stuff like that in the rear, who would come and deliver, or they would send these care packages, I should say, of toys and coloring books and crayons and things like that. And we would go over to the hospital and we would visit the Afghan patients, many of whom were children, who had lost arms, legs, their vision, or like one eye, stuff like that. Some of them were heavily burned, stuff like that. We would go and visit them and bring them these little toys and stuff like that to try to at least lighten their mood while they're in there. Which, I'm going to say right now, and I'm not a very heartwarming kind of guy. I'm going to admit it. I'm not. I'm relatively cold and logical and practical about things, and less, heart-wrenching, heartwarming, emotional kind of guy. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not a happy, feel-good guy. I admit it. But the logical side of me still said this was going to help them and make a difference, and it's a good thing to do. Now, having said that, some of those kids, it was pretty heart-wrenching, to see the damage that had been done to them. And the damage that was done to these kids was mainly from landmines, IED, rocket attack into the neighborhood and stuff like that. Especially if they lived anywhere near a NATO base or a US or NATO facility or US facility or whatever, they would get rockets and things like that. Whatever, just random stuff like that. They found a grenade and whatever stuff like that, and they survived the blast and it blew off half their arm or something like that. Just all kinds of weird stuff, And I like to think that us being there did make a difference, at least for those kids. it's pretty amazing. I'm going to tell you right now, the triumph of the human spirit, especially in children, is incredible. It is incredible how resilient kids are. I mean, there are a lot of adults that if they had suffered those injuries, they would have given up. They would be so depressed. Their life isn't going to amount to anything. Oh, I'm useless now. I don't have whatever. My life is going to suck from here on out, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to cry about it, and they're going to feel bad for themselves and all this kind of stuff. And these kids, instead, if it didn't hurt, they would just adapt. They would just adapt and get by with it. And they would get their little crooked smiles as much as they could smile and things like that. What are we talking about? I was talking about Afghan children. The base that I was on it was French run, and it had a full hospital on there. And we would go over and as part of an outreach program that we had set up, and we would visit the Afghan children because the French hospital, military hospital, which was a real hospital though, a real hospital building, it wasn't like a MASH unit or anything like that, was treating these Afghan children who had suffered injuries from landmines and grenades and rocket attacks and whatever. And we would take care packages of toys and just things to help kind of brighten their mood and give them something to do while they're sitting in a hospital with their family there and everything. And the Afghan people were super appreciative that we would come over and help, bring smiles and laughter to their children, faces. And the kids obviously looked forward to it, and they loved it. And I was just talking about the resilience of children. You would see these kids that are badly burned or missing an arm or an arm and a leg and an eye and all kinds of messed up. And whereas adults would probably be like feeling bad for themselves and super depressed and sad that they had this kind of injury or whatever, kids just act like, okay, I'll just adapt to this now. As long as they're not in pain, obviously. Once they're past the pain point, basically, for the most part, and they're just getting treated and all this kind of stuff or whatever, then they would just be like, okay, cool, I can play with this, cool, I'm going to play with that. And they would just adapt and move on. And they're surprisingly resilient, how strong kids can be in those kind of situations. And it was heartwarming to see that kind of stuff. And I can safely say that the level of care that the French, in that case, were able to provide, or NATO, in other words, were able to provide, definitely made a difference to those families. So us being there made a difference to a lot of Afghans, that's for sure. So it wasn't all for nothing, though it can feel that way. That's all I'm saying is, it just, like I said, I feel bad for the Afghan people. The ones that I met they seemed like pretty decent people. I mean, they're just trying to get by in a rough place, They realize they don't have everything, and, they appreciated the things that we brought them. The things that and I don't just mean the goods that we brought them, but the freedoms we brought them, and things like that. It's been talked about a lot in the news, and that's for sure, that the women definitely appreciated the freedoms and the education and the options like that they had brought to them. That doesn't necessarily... Now, supposedly the Taliban says that they intend to not be as strict against women and to allow women as part of their government and all that kind of stuff. We'll see.
Here's the targets. Keep it up. Enemy destroyed. Backpacking.
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Bam! So I guess that does it for the patches. The patches. That leaves one more of these things to do, and then we'll be, well then oh, damn it, I meant to get to the workbenches. Then I want to try to work a little bit, I think, on wires and batteries, maybe. If I can get those additional, what's it, 150 and 350, I think, for engineer badges, that would be good. That would help. I think it's 150 and 350. It might be 100 and 350, but I think it's 150 and
Enemy
350.
detected. Joining the battle. Good today. We're losing ground, people. Thought I was done for.
What's up, Sego?
No more running for that one. What a lovely day.
It may be.
That's what I like. Well done.
Maybe. Nope. Sorry, guys. I have to take this phone call. I got stuff going on. I'll get back to you in just a second. I'll be right here.
Attack! Let's go! The base is under attack! The enemy is right ahead. Oh, we left the corner! Another one. Coming out. Say hello to my little friend. That's some fancy shooting, boys.
Sorry, guys. I'm really sorry, man. There's just a lot going on. There's things that are requiring changes in my life right now. Like I was going to sign up to go back to school again, for the next semester. I know, it is convenient. You like that cell phone? Oh, and what do you mean? These are headphones too? I thought these were just a cell phone holder. What? Hold on a second. Maybe I got to plug these into something? Oh my god, this is so much better. I can actually hear things through these? No. Yeah, that's... Like I said, it's, my mom's got a lot of medical issues going on, and I'm unfamiliar with Medicaid and all that kind of stuff, and I'm trying to figure that stuff out and figure out what's best for her, and I'm handling all that, and it's because of things like that. I'm not going back to school this fall semester. I'm having to change my plans because I can't between that and my dad, who's in Texas still. He just had surgery yesterday morning to remove his kidney because of kidney cancer. And between the two, my mom's in the hospital right now. Between the two of them, I need more flexibility than school will really. Before I think I'm going to need to bring in more money, and I'm not bringing in any money right now. Even when I was bringing in GI Bill money, it's not that much. It's not enough that I can really help provide for my mom. I don't need to provide for my dad, he's fine. But I need to help provide for my mom probably to some degree. And because of it, I may have to go back to regular job type status. And in doing that, that's going to affect my streaming schedule somewhere along the way. So that's when you say change may be in the air for me soon. Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how yet, how much, to what degree, temporarily or long term, or when it'll start either. When some kind of a change will have to start. I mean, I should be able to at least stick to my currently scheduled stream schedule, my noon on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and 3 p.m. on Thursdays and Fridays type of thing. I should be able to stick to that for the most part, at least in the next few weeks. But I don't know after that, what may change, when, or how drastically. There's just a lot of things that are going to be in the air, but life is life, and as much as I enjoy coming and hanging out with you guys and doing the stream and all that kind of stuff or whatever, you got to handle things, right? So, there is that. What was I doing on this? Did I have all the things? I have the things for that and the thing for that. Good, okay, so I have enough for the first impulse. So I finished up my seasonal patch requirements, seasonal daily challenge patch requirements. Used up my fuel. Finished up my progress toward my hard raids with either electronics or copper as a reward for the 500 engineer badges in each of those weekly challenges. I haven't finished up the actual challenges, but progress toward. Finished up my regular daily challenges and the replay of the quest mission storyline for the reputation, and all that has progressed in the daily challenge requirements for the weekly challenges of completing 40 daily challenges, and the stupid thing for completing 12 daily challenges to get another useless container that I'm not even going to open. But 400 engineer badges is always good. And then also did the easy raid with the remaining 20 fuel that I had after doing the hard raids for progress toward win 6 battles in easy raids for another 100 engineer badges. Now, what I do still have, it's only 100 for get the wires, not 150. And then it's 350 for get the batteries. So I would like to make some progress toward that, but it also depends on what time it is. It's 2:15 right now. Let me double check something because make some progress toward that. But let me mute that. Because my girlfriend wanted to. We went to a movie yesterday. She took like 3 extra days off this week. She only worked 2 days this week, I think. 2 days? 3 days. 3 days. She works Saturday. Her work week starts on Saturday, so she works Saturday, Monday, and she's going to work Thursday. So she has 4 days off this week. So she took 2 extra days. We went and saw Free Guy yesterday, which was a funny movie. It was very good with Ryan Reynolds and everything. And she wants to go see Jungle Cruise. So let's see. I'm looking at the movie times real quick. 4:40. And see, there's a movie starting at 3. It's 2:20 right now, so we're probably just gonna go do that. I'll pick up on get the wires and get the batteries. And tomorrow or Friday's stream. Probably tomorrow because she's going to be closing at her job tomorrow, so she won't be She'll be working all during the night tomorrow. So, and tomorrow's stream is at 3 p.m. So I'll probably just do some get the wires and get the batteries progress tomorrow. So look forward to regular challenges as well as progress, some PvP action tomorrow, and get the wires and get the batteries. But other than that, I think we're done for today. Or just under 2 hours, so that's good, as far as that's concerned. And I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, as always, man. I'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, hopefully. And same thing on Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. That's -4 UTC, for those of you who might be in a different time zone. Hey, you too, man. Thanks for coming and hanging out, Sego. And I look forward to seeing you guys later. And hopefully you guys will come and hang out with me. All right? Take care. And we'll talk to you guys later on, all right? And in the meantime, though, also, if you want to catch up on any of my streams from the past, they are, I assure you, most of them are more lively than the last 2 days. Just had a lot going on IRL that's hopefully... I'm trying not to let it dampen the spirit and the energy level of the stream too much, and I'm sorry that I spent so much time, especially today, on the phone, but situation is what it is, and it's fluid and requires activity on my part, unfortunately. But if you do want to catch up on any of my past streams, you can always go check me out over on YouTube as well. Secret Squirrel Games is the name of the channel. It also has the same logo right here that you see over my head. And additionally, I will stream this or any other game on twitch.tv/Secret Squirrel Games at some other time. And you can check me out here. If you hit the follow button, then that will make sure that you can come and catch me whenever I go live. And I am scheduled for Crossout at noon Eastern Time on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and 3 p.m. on Thursdays and Fridays. So since I've done Tuesday and Wednesday, obviously that means 3 p.m. tomorrow and the next day. And hopefully we will see you then. All right, take care, everybody. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.